What's good, YouTube? It's your boy JayyKicksz, and today I will be giving y'all about 5 budget hoop shoes that you guys can go out and get right now and hooping, man. I know not everybody has 100, 125, 150, $200 just to go out there and buy any shoe that they want. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to give y'all some budget-friendly options that y'all can go out and either go to the store, cop them today, or y'all can order them and have them by the end of the week, man. So that being said, let's get into it. Get it. All right, man, before I list off the shoes, I'm gonna break them down by tier. So I'm gonna provide y'all with 3 different tiers. Tier 1 is gonna be from $40 to about $60. Tier 2 is gonna be from $60 to $80. And that tier 3 is gonna be from $80 to $100. So a lot of people like to do these budget shoe type of videos, and they gonna give you a shoe that's priced at $110, $125. Like, that's not really on a budget. You know what I'm saying? That might be a budget for them, but for the vast majority of people, that's not budget, man. I'm gonna look out for y'all. With these shoes that I'm going to cover here, I'm not going to try and put y'all on a shoe that I myself haven't played in. I'm not about to do that. Obviously, there's shoes that I haven't hooped in and I've heard good things about them, but if I haven't hooped in a shoe myself, I'm not about to tell y'all to go out there and cop them. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I don't want y'all to go out there and cop a shoe on my behalf, and then y'all come back and y'all like, yo, I thought you said boom, 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 and nah, I ain't gonna do that to y'all, man. So I ain't about to chat too much. Like I said, that's the tier system: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So let's start it off with tier 1. All right, man, starting off with tier 1, from $40 to about $60. This is probably the best bang for buck that you can get on a hoop shoe at the moment. And the shoe that I am holding right now is the Adidas AE2. So if you guys do not know, if you have any outlets, any Adidas outlets, or just Adidas stores close to where you are, if you hit up that outlet or if you hit up that Adidas store, these are sitting on the shelf, and a range of sizes from 8 to 13 for $40. For $40, I kid you not, man. I've seen it at my outlets, I've seen it at the mall, at my Adidas stores, and I wish I grabbed the video for y'all boys. But if you just look it up right now, look it up on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, it's gonna come up like these are sitting on shelves for about $40. So with that being said, this is probably the best bang that you can get for your buck. This is a shoe that is very comfortable. That's the first thing that stands out when you put the shoe on. In the heel, they have a lot of padding within the shoe. There's just a lot of good padding. I will say though that the cushion and the forefoot is solid. I think with this shoe, it's more of a court feel type of shoe as opposed to like cushion, more plushness. You know what I'm saying? I think they designed this cushioning setup to be more responsive to anything. So that's what you're gonna get. Don't be expecting to put your foot in these and feel a cloud on the bottom of your feet. But I will say it is cloud-like around your foot. Like I said, they have a lot of padding around the heel. So that's another thing that adds to the lockdown and stability of the shoe. This is a very, very, very stable shoe. Once you put these on, crank down the laces, you're good to go, man. As far as fit, I actually got a half size down. Like I told you on past videos, when it comes to Adidas, I don't know why, but for me, I am a narrow footer. They just be fitting a little big on me, man. They be running a little big, so I decided to go a half size down, and these fit me perfect. I do feel like if you are a normal to wide footer, you should be good. Go into your true size, man. But overall, very, 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 very good performer. This is a shoe that I still currently hoop in to this day. As you can see, put a little bit of miles in these, man. But overall, good traction, very stable, good lockdown. Cushion is solid. Like I said, it's more responsive than plush. So cushion is solid, I would say. And overall, it's just a solid hoop shoe. Like, this is not a bad shoe by any means. Like a very, 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 very solid hoop shoe. So like I said, this is gonna probably be your biggest bang for your buck. Now we have another one, man, for my quick shifty guards, my low to the ground, herky jerky, left and right type of guards. This is gonna be the shoe for you, and this is a very, very, very underrated shoe. If you guys do not know, Tyrese Maxey just officially unveiled his first signature shoe under New Balance, and prior to him receiving his first signature shoe, this is the shoe that he was wearing. Him alongside Jamal Murray, Cooper Flag. These are just some of the names that were hooping in the New Balance Hezi Low V2. This is a very, very, very solid hoop shoe, man. Just to go down the list, support is pretty solid. Lockdown is pretty solid. The traction is pretty good. I will say though that these struggle a little bit on dust. Just to point that out and be completely transparent with y'all, but on most courts, these should be good. As long as you wipe, you should be, you know, good to go. But I will say, if you are playing on a court that is very, very, very dusty, these may struggle here and there. I thought that's kind of how the AE2 was going to be, just from the reviews that I was hearing. But when I put them to the test, I took them to different courts that are typically dusty. They held up like very, very, very well. Like, we're sticking like glue. These, on the other hand, you're just gonna have to wipe them a little bit. But overall, it's a low to the ground type of shoe. Once again, cushioning setup in this is more so responsive, court feel driven than anything. So you're not gonna feel, you know, it's not gonna be very, very plush on your foot. It's more so being responsive and things like that. As far as the material though, the material is very comfortable and it breaks in. And once it really, really molds to your foot, hey man, that's a pretty good feeling. Pretty good feeling. I will say with these, I don't really feel like they're narrow. I feel like they give you a bit more room, and New Balance is known for that. They give you a bit more room than, you know, a shoe like a Nike. You know what I'm saying? Nikes fit for the most part on the narrow side. These provide a little bit more room for those with wide feet. So I feel like if you're a wide footer, you can go true to size. If anything, you might have to go up a half size. You got really, really, really wide feet. But as a narrow footer, I mean, I went true to size. I feel like it's solid. Normal footer, you should be able to go true to size. Wide footers, if you have really, really wide feet, I'll go up maybe half a size. But yeah, like I said, overall, very, very good hoop shoe. Solid traction, very responsive. Lockdown support are pretty good. Lightweight. And I'm not gonna lie, they have some very, very solid colorways. This is actually probably my favorite colorway that they released. Alongside that blue, that light blue that Cooper Flag was hooping in. But this is a very, very solid colorway. It has been a minute since I hooped in these. This is a shoe that I want to revisit. I've just been in the process, you know, trying out so many different hoop shoes. But this is a shoe that I really, really, really do enjoy. And the price point that you can get these right now on the website, like, I'm gonna pull this up for y'all because, like I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, and I genuinely want to help y'all boys. You know what I'm saying? This is where I got my pair from. I got my pair from Joe's New Balance outlet. If you go on the website right now, you can find different pairs for $80, right? But they have this thing to where once you take that shoe and put it in your bag, it applies a 50% discount. But yeah, once you apply them to your bag, it's gonna knock that price down by 50%. I am gonna put screenshots up on the screen if I haven't already, just so y'all can see. And as far as the AE2s, like I said, if you go out and go to the Adidas store, you're gonna find them for $40. Mark my words. But if you do not, they are on sale, still marked off. I'm gonna throw up another screenshot. I know I said 40 because if you do go into the store, it's gonna be 40. But if you do have to get this shoe online, it's gonna be about $65. That's what I'm seeing right now on Finish Line. Like I said, they have multiple colorways and a lot of different sizes, so that should be pretty solid. But overall, for that tier 1, that $40 to $60 range, we have the AE2 coming in about $40 if you can go in store and grab them. And same with the Hezi Low V2, if you order these online with that discount, it's probably going to come out to, I believe it's like $49.99 after like taxes and shipping and all that. So that's very, very, very solid for two very, very solid hoop shoes. I will say this AE2 is probably catered more towards like a bigger guard. For this Hezi V2, just for my low to the ground shifty type of hoopers, man. So two very, very, very solid options at that tier 1 bracket. All right, man, now for that tier 2, this is where things start to get a little bit interesting, man. I do have a shoe that I'm about to present as a tier 2 shoe, but when I got the shoe, it was at a tier 1 price. That shoe is the Don Issue 7. I was able to find these at Going. I actually posted a video about it on my TikTok. Might have to throw that up somewhere over here. But I was able to get these for, I think, about $30, maybe $40. Caught them for a really, really good sale. If you guys do not know, Going is a clearance store for Dick's Sporting Goods. So I was able to find these, but if you guys do not have a Going by you online, I'm seeing these at Champs for $54.99. So after, you know, shipping and taxes and any other fees, these probably gonna run you a little bit upwards of $60. So that's why I'm putting it in that tier 2 category. But it is possible to find this for that tier 1 price, man. But overall, very, very good hoop shoe. A lot of people were saying that this was the sleeper shoe of the year. A very, very good performer. Traction is solid. I will say that because the grooves aren't thick and they kind of are more on the shallow side, you do have to wipe. But once you wipe, traction should be solid. I will say that this traction pattern is probably in the same category, the same tier as that Hezi V2. It's solid, you know, on, you know, your clean to moderately clean courts, but once you get on the dusty court, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, this is a traction pattern that may begin to struggle. Like I said, as you continue to wipe, you should be solid. But if you are playing on a very, very, very dusty court, I would recommend that you stay away from these, man. As far as lockdown and support is good. I thought this was a heavy shoe, but this is actually one of the lighter shoes in my collection. Similar to that Hezi V2, the shoe is very comfortable. Once again, like the AE2, they have a lot of padding around that heel. So once you put your foot in, not only is it comfortable, but once you lock it in and crank the laces down, you're not going anywhere. You're locked down, you feel supported, things like that. As far as the zipper, it really doesn't do anything. It actually comes on loose if you tend to play in the shoe a lot. You know what I'm saying? If you're playing for an hour, 2 hours, you're just gonna be hooping, you're gonna look down at your foot, zipper gonna be like that, man. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really add to the support of the shoe. It just looks nice. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But overall, pretty solid material. Cushion is pretty solid. Traction is pretty solid. And like I said, very good lockdown, very good stability. And then the cushion around your heel is pretty solid, man. So as far as the fit, I went true to size in these, and that was a very good decision for me. I even tried on a half size down. It was a little bit too small. So I feel like as a narrow footer and a normal footer, going true to size in these, you're gonna be a-okay. For my wide footers, you might have to go up a half size, maybe a whole size. I do recommend when it comes to any hoop shoe to go into the store and try the shoe on if you have the opportunity to. Obviously, I know my feet, I don't know y'all feet, so that's why I always recommend that. That is the best option. Now, for this second shoe, I pray to God this shoe works for you. This shoe is an absolute hit. This shoe is actually in my top 5, man, so if you guys cannot guess off of that, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know that Nike Book 1 is one of the ones. Like, this is a shoe that is so comfortable, and I truly mean this when I say it, but the more you play in the shoe, the better the shoe feels. You break in that cushion, you break in the material up against the mold to your foot, and it kind of begins to provide that one-to-one fit. Off rip, regarding fit, I am a narrow footer, like I've been stating. It is a snug fit for me, and I'm a narrow footer. Even as a normal footer, I feel like you may need to go up half a size. If you do like the snug fit, you should be good true to size. But for my wide footers, I would stay away from these shoes. I repeat, I would stay away from these shoes. They're just too snug, man, and I don't want to recommend y'all a snug shoe and y'all feet are wide, man. But if you are a normal footer to a narrow footer, this is a very good shoe. This is also a great shoe for shooters because of the nice base that the shoe provides. Material, very comfortable. They break in nicely. Traction actually surprised me. Traction was very good on every single court I took it on. Very good. And the cushion wasn't anything crazy. It was solid, just enough to get the job done. Decent impact protection, decent court feel, and it's more catered to, you know, being, I guess, responsive to anything. So cushioning isn't anything crazy. Like I said, it's literally just enough to get the job done. But overall, D-Book 1 is a phenomenal shoe. If you guys stay by like a Nike clearance store, you can get these for a very good deal. I think I posted a video on my TikTok kind of covering these along with some other shoes that I found at a Nike clearance store. So just off the top of my head, I don't want to give y'all a number that's wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can get these for like anywhere between $60 to $80, maybe even lower than that. Online, I'm seeing on Foot Locker, I believe, or Champs 1 or 2, you can get these for about $65. With the Book 1, it's a lot of different colorways. Man. A lot of people feel like the shoe is simple, but simple isn't always bad, especially if the performance is there, man. So Coming in at that tier 2 is the Nike Book 1, along with the Don Issue 7, man. Two very, very, very good hoop shoes. If you had to choose between either one, both are good for your feet. The Don Issue 7s are pretty good. A lot of people love these shoes, but for me personally, I'm choosing that Nike Book 1. Like I said, it's in my top 5. That's no knock on the Don Issue 7. Very, very good hoop shoe. Really, either way, you can't go wrong. But for my preference, that Nike Book, man. Now for that last bracket. I'm actually gonna add one more shoe to this. One more shoe. I'm just gonna toss that in at the end. But for that tier 3 from $80 to $100, I am going to throw in the Adidas Harden Volume 10. I haven't been able to find these in store, but online I have been seeing these for ridiculous prices. Like I actually found these last night, probably at like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Ended up sending it to my brother, but I found these online for $64. For $64, but obviously it's harder to find this shoe at that price point. When I caught my pair a couple months ago, I think I paid maybe like $80, $90 for these, and online you can find these for a similar price point. Very, very, very good shoe. Once again, this is another shoe that was in my top 5. It is on the heavier side, but to me, it plays lighter than its listed weight, man. So that's a very good thing about this shoe. But with this shoe, great material. The material is actually comfortable, and it conforms to your foot over time. I will say though, with this sock-like material, it does feel like your heel is gonna slip out, but it's not. Once you crank down the laces, your heel is not gonna slip out unless you really pull and force your heel out. Traction on these, phenomenal. Cushion is very, very, very good. I was actually surprised about how good the cushioning setup was, because they found a really nice balance of cushion and court feel. That's very hard to do on a hoop shoe, so shout out to Adidas for that. Cushion is very good. Lockdown is pretty solid, and overall, to me, this is a solid looking shoe, man. They got some tough colorways. This is a shoe that stands out on court, so you cannot go wrong with these. Another shoe that I'm going to throw in there just for the sake of this video is the Nike KD 18. If you guys do not know, the Nike KD 19 officially released probably like a month, maybe 2 months ago. So with that shoe being out, you're going to find a lot of Nike KD 18s on sale. So if you go to your local Ross, your Marshalls, your Burlingtons, your Goings, even like your Champs and your Nike clearance stores, like you're gonna find these sitting in a lot of different colorways. Great performer. This is like the Adidas Harden Volume 10. It is a heavier shoe, but to me, it plays a lot lighter than its listed weight. And this is coming from somebody who prefers to play in lightweight shoes. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my take on it. Overall, traction is very good. Cushion is very solid. The materials are nice. I'm not gonna say they're breathable, but they're decent. They conform to your foot over time. The shoe does have very good lockdown and support, in my opinion. I feel confident making certain moves, or not even certain moves. I feel confident making really any move in this shoe. Only reason why I didn't cop this shoe earlier is because this is literally the only colorway that I like of the Nike KD 18. I kind of feel like all the other colorways are not my cup of tea, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, overall, good traction, comfortable material, cushion is solid, great lockdown and support, and they have a lot of different colorways. So if this may not be your cup of tea, maybe they got another colorway that really grab your eye, man. But that is my 5 or 6 budget-friendly shoes that's under $100 that y'all can go out and cop. If y'all want me to go out and film another TikTok of y'all going to like a different store, finding hoop shoes for the low, I can do that. I have no problem doing that. You know what I'm saying? I hope that y'all like this video. I asked that y'all let me know what y'all want to see next, man. I think I'm gonna do a review on the Kobe 4 Pro Trail. I'm gonna cover that. So overall, like I said, that's the video. I ask that y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all want to see next. I can keep doing these kind of like top 5 type of videos. I'm gonna continue to do reviews on certain shoes. If y'all want me to review this shoe, like I said, it is a sleeper, and I didn't include on my top 5 shoes that I like to play in, but this was floating. This is floating in like that 6, 7 type of spot. And for a minute, I really thought it was gonna make that top 5, man. So I can make a video on those, but y'all let me know what y'all want to see, man. And until next time, I'm gonna catch y'all boys. You did.